Hey everyone, welcome to the Mark Prater podcast, where we aim to connect our global family of churches with our executive director. Mark, in the news right now, the biggest story I would guess for all of us is the coronavirus. So, coronavirus, big fan or not so much?
Not a big fan of
Not a big fan. Okay,
coronavirus.
that's good to
Yeah,
know. We want our guys to know your position on this.
right.
So what do you, when it comes to the coronavirus and the fact that there's all kinds of strategies being deployed uh, when it comes to people who lead public organizations, how would you suggest, what kind of suggestions would you make? Maybe some guidance to bring to bear for our pastors as we're thinking through how to lead locally in our churches through this season.
Yeah, thanks for asking. It seems like it's a very timely topic. In fact, we just had a conversation as elders here at Covenant Fellowship
Hmm.
and decided to send out one communication, and there'll probably be others depending on how the virus spreads. The reason we did that here is because we had a confirmed case in the county the church is located in.
Right.
So that was close to home for us. So if you're a church or a pastor that's in a state or a city that hasn't had any reported cases yet, you might take a different approach. But we sent out a
Right.
communication before our last Sunday service that basically said, if you or your children have been sick in the last 48 hours, stay home. We do have
Yeah.
live stream, so they can enjoy the service live stream. We let them know that we have instructed our facility staff to disinfect doorknobs and handrails in the facility. And then we said, look, when you see each other on Sunday, greet each other with, I think we said, a kind word, but refrain from shaking hands or hugging at this point. And then within our service, our liturgy typically is a call to worship, and then we sing. And
Yeah.
then after singing, we do a pastoral prayer. And after the pastoral prayer, before we do announcements, we just ask folks to greet one another. And so we just told our church ahead of time in the email and then said so on Sunday, we're just going to eliminate the greet one another for a period of time. And then we're
Yeah.
just letting our members know that we're just continuing to monitor this and we'll keep them updated.
Yeah. I saw one pastor in a video for his church inform them that during the greeting time, there would be a greeting time, but instead of handshakes, he suggested peace signs or air hugs. So I don't know if you guys were calling your church to have air hugs instead.
We
You're just
didn't think of air
you
hugs.
cancel the whole greeting time. So you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
right.
that part. So it
Exactly.
seems wise to me that a pastor communicates to the church something of how the elders are thinking about this.
Right.
What was the response from your church? Good, positive?
Overall positive. I think our folks, in fact, that same day I got an email from a member saying, I'm so glad you're thinking about this.
Yeah.
She's actually an attorney for a big law firm in Philadelphia and said, I'm going to send you what our law firm sent out to all of our attorneys. And it was helpful to read their communication. So overall, it was
Yeah.
positive.
Any pushback?
No, we're heard from a few folks, boy, that was kind of a strong communication.
Hmm.
Um, so I didn't think it was, but it's just good to know that and hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, communication seems wise. And we're certainly working on our strategy this week to send something out as well. So, in some ways, this crisis is, to my way of thinking, overblown
Mhm.
in regards to how many people are actually affected compared to the population, even though it's
Mhm.
growing.
Right.
But our people, some of them are experiencing anxiety, worry. They perceive it as crisis. Media certainly enjoying the boost in ratings, I would guess, during this season. Um,
Right.
so, what encouragement would you have for us as pastors when it comes to leading our church through anxiety crisis when it's very public and in the news, and we're trying to navigate through that? So, leading, communicating, but also helping to encourage our folks.
Well, I think given, and you kind of referenced this, that our media today does sensationalize things.
Yeah.
I think we have to assume there are people sitting in our churches on Sunday who are anxious about
Yeah.
this. So I think it's just best to point them to God, obviously, which our pastors do very well. But in particular, what comes to mind is Philippians 4, where
Mm.
it says, do not be anxious about anything, but in prayer and supplication, bring your requests to God. And then, as you know, verse 7 goes on to talk about then the peace of God, which transcends our understanding, will guard your hearts and minds.
Right.
So one way to apply that is, if you have a pastoral prayer in your liturgy at your church, pray. Pray against the spread of the coronavirus. Pray that it would stop. Pray for people to be healed, but then also pray for peace.
Yeah.
For any members who are experiencing anxiety. I think that can be a great way to care for your church.
That's great. Yeah. So let's make sure we make this official. Not a fan of coronavirus.
Not a fan.
Not a fan of anxiety.
Not a fan
so
of anxiety.
We have you on the record.
You got it.
All right. Hey, Mark, thanks. Thanks for your thoughts on this, and for everyone watching. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon right here on this podcast. See you later.
Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, Mark would love to hear from you. For more videos like this, hit subscribe on YouTube or by email at markkprater.com.